Hey guys! So today we're going to be doing lesson 2 notes on graphing a line. Just as a reminder, you need to make sure you have your lesson 2 notes open up on Google Classroom or on Google Docs, or you can print it out so you can fill it in as we go along as you watch the video. So just as a recap from lesson 1, we know that all linear lines must be in the format of y equals mx plus b. And you want to make sure that the variable y is isolated on the left side of your equation. So for example, if it's in the format of y plus 3x equals 6, your y is not isolated on the left side. So you must rearrange or balance your equation so that it is in slope-intercept form. So for example, you subtract 3x from both sides, y equals negative 3x plus 6, and therefore your y is now isolated. And when it's isolated, then you are able to identify your slope and your y-intercept. And once you now isolate it and you identify your slope and your y-intercept, so for example, your slope is negative 3 and your y-intercept is 0, 6, you now plot your y-intercept first. So that's step 1 is plot your y-intercept. And then you want to plot another point according to your slope. And remember, your slope is always rise over run. Okay, so now let's start looking at some of these examples when we are graphing a line. Okay, so step number 1 is our equation in slope-intercept form, meaning is the y isolated on the left side. And in this case, this equation is. So now we can identify our slope and our y-intercept. So our equations stay the same. Y equals 2/3 x minus 7. Our slope is 2/3 and our y-intercept is 0, negative 7. So the first step, remember, is you want to plot your y-intercept. So let's go down on the y-axis to 0, negative 7. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And we're going to make a point. And now from there, we're going to use our slope. And I'm going to write the slope a little bit bigger so that we can see how we're going to move. So remember, rise over run is your slope. And since both of our values are positive, we're going to move our point up 2 and to the right 3. So I'm going to go from our point up 2, 1, 2 units, and then go to the right 3, 1, 2, 3. And I'm going to plot our point. So there's your next point according to our slope. Now we're going to do it again. 1, 2, to the right 3, 1, 2, 3, and plot a point. And in this case, you now can connect your 3 points you have, and you graphed the line of y equals 2/3 x minus 7. All right, let's look at example number 2 now. So example number 2 is our equation in slope-intercept form, meaning is the y isolated on the left side? And in this case, it is. There's nothing else on the right side. So our equation stayed the same. Y equals negative 4x plus 5. Now remember, our slope is negative 4 here, but we want to write it as a ratio so we don't forget that we need to move our point left or right. And remember, in this case, any number that is not in fraction form can be written as a fraction when it's over the number 1. And our y-intercept is 0, 5. So we're going to go plot our y-intercept first. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And now our slope, as we know, is negative 4, 1. This means that we're going to fall 4, because remember, rise means up or down, and run means left or right. Now in this case, since your 1 is a positive 1, we're going to move to the right 1. So we're going to go down 4, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Oops, I forgot to run. And now we need to run one spot. So it actually would be right here. Okay. Okay, so we're going to erase that. And we're going to do our slope again. So we're going to go down 1, 2, 3, 4, and then to the right 1. And now we're going to connect our dots. Make sure you use a ruler. It's kind of hard for me to make a straight line, but all linear lines should be straight, so you should be using a straight edge or a ruler when you are connecting your dots. Now, just as a reminder from the first lesson, is this line increasing or decreasing? You should have said decreasing, because as you read the line from left to right, it is going down. And also, as a reminder, your slope is negative. And when your slope is a negative slope, it is decreasing. So you can determine if it's an increasing or decreasing line two different ways. All right, let's look at problem number 3 now. Example number 3, is this line in slope-intercept form? Is the y isolated? So remember, you want it in y equals mx plus b. And in this case, it's not. So let's do the inverse operation. How am I going to balance my equation? If we have a plus 8 on the one side, to bring it to the other side of your equal sign, you want to subtract 8 from both sides. And remember, these are not like terms. They do not both have x's in them. Now our equation is in slope-intercept form now. The y is isolated on the left side. So our slope, I want to write my equation, not the equation in slope-intercept form. So I'm just going to rewrite it. So we're going to have y equals 3x minus 8. Our slope is 3 over 1, and our y-intercept is 0, negative 8. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's my y-intercept. And now, since your slope is 3 over 1, we're going to move up 3 to the right 1. 1, 2, 3 to the right 1. 1, 2, 3 to the right 1. And you can draw your line. Like I said before, make sure you are using a ruler, please. And then finally, here is our last problem, problem number 4. This one's a little bit more difficult because we want to do 2 steps to rearrange our equation. So, as we can see, it's not in slope-intercept form. So I'm going to draw my railroad tracks. Always add or subtract first. So we're going to add 1 to both sides. And unlike the other equations, are there like terms on the right side now? And you should say yes, because this negative 3 and this positive 1 can be combined because they are like terms. So you have negative x, and then negative 3 plus 1 gives you negative 2. And in order to get rid of the 2 in front of the x, the operation is happening between them is multiplication. And the opposite of multiplying by 2 would be to divide every single part by 2. Now don't forget, in front of this x here, there is a negative 1. So your slope in this case is not going to be just negative 2, but your equation will be y equals negative 1/2. There's your slope. Minus 2 divided by 2 gives you a 1. Or negative 2 divided by 2 gives you a negative 1. So your slope is negative 1/2. And your y-intercept is 0, negative 1. Now let's plot our y-intercept. And our slope, negative 1 over 2, means you go down 1 to the right 2. Down 1 to the right 2. Use your straight edge and connect your dots. All right, so now that you learned about how to graph a line, make sure you keep all of these things in mind. Make sure your equation is slope-intercept form. If it's not, you have to rearrange it first. Then identify your slope and y-intercept, and you plot your y-intercept first. Then you use your slope to draw another point or 2. All right, so now you may use your notes, watch the video again as many times as you need, and you're going to work on your independent practice work that is on Google Classroom on the project website. You need to submit that, and then you are ready to take your Google form quiz.